So just some quick stats. We are still very, very new. I see a lot of new faces. So welcome to AHF. We are in our 17th session. We have it every Friday. We've had 15 guest speakers, 19 past members. That means people have gotten jobs, they moved on, and we are growing at a very rapid rate. So we are only 4 months old, and we are at 400 members on LinkedIn and counting. So at this rate, I expect us to end the year with around 2,100 members. That being said, I want to introduce you to our guest speaker, Aggie Lema-Kowalczyk. And how did I know about spelling that correctly? Because I listened to the audio on her LinkedIn profile, and that's where she spells her name, right? So now make sure you enable that setting if you want to enable that audio setting of your name or your summary or your profile in LinkedIn. So Aggie's and I have known each other for a little while, and I like to have different perspectives and different views of what others may think about how to get a job or how to land on the right career field. So here's Aggie. So if you don't mind doing a small introduction of yourself, Aggie, and also if you can go into continuing to share one piece of insider knowledge that many job seekers might not be aware of, but might find incredibly helpful in their job search.
Hey, thanks, Danny. Great pronunciation on my name. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me. So, I am a product leader. My experience is in CPG and consumer goods within the digital space as well as hard goods products. I've worked for various retailers. Some of the big names are Walmart, Costco, Kmart, partnered on various projects with those organizations. And I am looking for a new opportunity. So, I do know and understand the challenge that all of you are facing in the job search. So, on that note, what has helped me throughout this journey, and it's not my first rodeo, if you will, has really been being aware of my thoughts. So, a little bit of stats. On average, on a daily basis, we have about 60,000 thoughts per day, which is a pretty astounding number. And the majority of those thoughts tend to be very repetitive. So, you keep thinking about the same thing over and over again. And unfortunately, I think the way we're built as humans is we tend to think in negative terms. So, what has helped me manage my mindset is being aware of my thoughts. And that's something that I practice day to day. I recommend that, for everybody to do that, to really be aware of what you're thinking about, because sometimes our mind overtakes us and we find ourselves thinking about something, um, and in most cases it's negative. So just being really aware of what you're thinking about and reframing that. So let's say you're waiting for the phone to ring to receive feedback on an interview, and your mind takes you into a negative space about the fact that maybe you don't have the skill sets, or they didn't like you, or something negative is going to happen. Become aware of that thinking pattern and then think of something different for yourself. So, for example, you could state, I think I really did a great job on that interview, and I know I have the skill sets, and I know I'm a talented individual. I can bring value and contribution to this organization. And just being aware of those thoughts. The job seeker's journey is a roller coaster ride. Like I said, I'm very familiar with it from my personal experience. And every day has presents different challenges, right? So just really being aware of what you're thinking about, reframing that mind. There was an interesting movie that I watched with my kids over the weekend, The Princess Diaries, and there was a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt that stated, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." And I thought to myself, well, I think that's including myself. I shouldn't make myself feel inferior. I should elevate myself. And I think all of us tend to be our own worst critic versus being our best adversary. There's, many things that happen in our life that are both negative and positive, and so just really being aware of what we're thinking about, reframing that thought process, empowering yourself, giving yourself grace, giving yourself hope is really important on this journey, because it's not always an easy time, and it can be very difficult. So that's my recommendation. I do recommend two books that I've read. One is called Mindset by Carol Dweck. I'm not sure if you can see this, but here's one of them. The other one is also called The Biology of Belief. So I've read these several times, probably should reread them again. And I'm here to and happy to answer any questions or feedback that you might have. And thank you again for having me.
Thank you, Aggie. So if you don't mind sticking around after the session, and we can take on some Q&A. That was very relevant on mindset. You said some things that's even prevalent to me in my life. So looking forward to the Q&A. All right, so we'll stop the recording now.